Excitement building here at Sewell Meadows.
Welcome everyone to Phar Lap Horse Racing Challenge, the only English horse racing game for the Switch that isn't marketed completely towards young kids. I have never considered playing a horse racing game in my life, so why not give it a try? It should be noted that after playing for just a short while, there were some obvious suspicions that this was a port of a mobile game. Despite the completely different name, I quickly found out that this is indeed a straight-up port of the mobile game Rival Stars Horse Racing, which seems to be surprisingly popular on iOS and Android. So how does the Switch version hold up? Let's find out.
Ocean's Wind. Red Midnight in second position, feeling the pressure from Dream Dimple. Destiny's Dream being ridden well at the moment, followed by Showy Revenge. Continuing around
The game initially draws you in quite well with its decently sharp presentation and seemingly large amount of game modes. Right out of the gate, you can play the story mode, quick race, online racing, betting party, and creation hub. I'll dive into all of these in a bit, but the bulk of your time will be with the story mode. The simple premise of the game is that you inherit your grandfather's old farm and you have to build it back up by breeding and racing horses. The idea of being able to design and run your own horse ranch to train and breed the fastest horses really sounds like an awesome concept for a game, and it initially held my attention.
We can return this homestead to the height of its glory.
In order to improve your farm, you must purchase new horses, train and breed them, and then take them to the racetrack. The core gameplay loop makes a lot of sense, but how it works in practice here is a really boring and tedious process. For example, to train a horse, you click a button and boom, you've trained them. There's no minigame or sense of challenge at all. You also earn money for your ranch by either A, winning races, which makes sense, or B, waiting around and doing nothing, which doesn't make sense. There is zero sense of accomplishment, as the entire game outside of the racing is just essentially a series of sharp menus. It is such a huge missed opportunity for what could have been a clever and deep experience. Unsurprisingly, the mobile influences of how you earn money and time-based purchases do nothing to add to the experience. I will say the highlight for me was upon the start of story mode, where the game has you pick a randomly generated horse, and my option was a horse named Impatient Avocado, which is just too perfect. I got way too excited at the thought I would be able to take Impatient Avocado and make him the next great horse, but again, mobile limitations of only being able to level him up so far before having to purchase a different horse prevented me from having any sort of loyalty to him in the end, or really any sense of accomplishment at all.
a strong bid with Broken Banquet. 600 out, and it's Joy's Meadow. Sad Silk scraping the paint off the rail.
In terms of the actual racing, it mirrors the story mode in the sense that it initially feels wonderful, but once again grows stale incredibly fast. The gameplay is super simple, in which you will time when to sprint with your horse and when to run with the pack. It's pretty easy to pick up on, to the point where what should be an exciting and thrilling race becomes just another chore to take part in. The different tracks and horse preferences really don't add as much to the experience as they should either. On a positive note, the announcing in the game is actually quite impressive and semi-authentic to the real thing. I found way too much enjoyment hearing the announcer say Impatient Avocado over and over again.
On their back is Thumb Trust, just in front of Convenient Caterpillar. They run for home. Dainty Damage.
Now, outside of story mode, there are several more options. You can compete in a quick race of selectable horses locally or online. That being said, I never found a single person playing this game online, so good luck. There is also a betting party mode where up to 8 players can bet on and watch AI races, which reminds me of those old TV casino machines you would see at a gas station somewhere. I guess there is some value there, but I'm not exactly sure what it is. The final option is Creation Hub, where you can customize a horse completely to your liking. It unfortunately is just as shallow as pretty much everything else in the game, and creatively there aren't a whole lot of options to play around with. Earlier in my review, I briefly mentioned that this was the only non-kid English horse racing game. That's because there's a long-running series that's exclusive to Japan called Winning Post, developed by a company called Koei Tecmo. As you can see here, they've been releasing games in the franchise since 1993, and from all accounts, they do pretty well in Japan. Winning Post 9 is actually due out on the Switch this month, but unfortunately will not have an English language version, so we are stuck with Phar Lap as the only semi-serious horse racing option. Nonetheless, definitely check out some gameplay here from Winning Post 9 just for comparison's sake.
海外のトップホースを相手にここはぜひとも日本馬の力を示したいところです。さあいよいよ国際 G1 ジャパンカップの発走です。スタートしました。大きな出遅れはありませんでした。先行争い何が行くでしょうか。ドーラスジェミニ前に行きそうです。アーモンドアイそれに続いています。さらには奇跡15番グローリーベイズその後ろコントレイルそのうちに続いています。内からはガレンブーケドールその外にパフォーマプロミスその隣にマカヒキ内からはワールドプレミアその外からユーキャンスマイル内からは
In the end, Phar Lap Horse Racing Challenge has some decent bones that initially draw you in, but its flaws and extremely shallow depth combine to create an experience that gets very old very fast. No matter how much I wanted Impatient Avocado to become the next Seabiscuit, the game simply doesn't provide a rewarding experience at all. That being said, Phar Lap is not a terrible game, as I had plenty of enjoyable moments, and it definitely could hold the attention of some younger, casual gamers. There are enough redeeming qualities, but in the end, its flaws come to the forefront too quickly, leaving a stale and tedious experience behind. I still think it would be pretty cool to have a full-fledged game where you run and design a true horse ranch, where you can actually grow attached to your horses and maybe even race them online, but that is simply not what this game provides, so it becomes a very hard game to recommend except to the most loyal of horse racing fans.
Substance in 7th position, just behind its Jude Script.